Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
They say everything happens for a reason, but I suspect everything happens for a Reese's. Like this commercial break. Did you need 15 seconds away from music or 15 seconds to eat a Reese's? Perhaps it's true. Everything happens for a Reese's.
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
Coach Unplugged is brought to you by great people over at teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. Here is your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged, episode 570. Today we're going to do a interview with Herb Welling. This is a rewind episode. I thought it was a good one. I'm going to pull some rewinds over the next, couple months that I think are good. Thing about iTunes and all of them, they only put up the last 300. So there's some interviews and things that I think if you haven't heard them, I want to put them up. This is going to be a great one, so enjoy it. And then take 30 seconds, do three things for me. Go over and subscribe and like and leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast. Go join teachhoops.com before prices increase because I know you want to become a better basketball coach. And go over and just give the people at Coach Unplugged. Give the people over at Dr. Dish a call. Tell them we sent you. It helps us keep the lights on here on this podcast and to keep putting new content out and for me to spend all this time finding interviews and things like that. So we do appreciate that. We appreciate when you subscribe and you leave reviews, but we really appreciate when you call Dr. Dish and tell them that you heard it from us, and they'll give you $350 off your next purchase. So go do that, and let's head off to the podcast.
All right, welcome to Coach Unplugged. Coach, can you pronounce your last name for me?
Welling.
Okay, I always butcher last names, so I always ask people. So the way usually I start these podcasts is I have people kind of go through their basketball journey. I know a bit about it, but where you started, kind of, I know you're 5-star and all that kind of journey you had. But if you could just kind of share with everybody that's listening, kind of your basketball, experience or journey.
Right. Okay. So I started out when I was like, 10 years old, and I got to watch Henry Bibby's UCLA called Bibby's Lunch. So I fell in love with basketball at that moment, and I was a huge UCLA basketball fan. And I guess at the age of 12, I always wanted to replace John Wooden. Was my goal at UCLA. So I guess it would be UCLA. We moved to my dad got stationed at Fort Carson in Colorado.
Okay.
And got to watch the Denver Nuggets training camp there with Larry Brown and David Thompson and Dan Issel, Bobby Jones, and a bunch of other guys. So I got to watch the whole week at a real young age. And the only basketball camp I got to go to was Larry Brown's growing up. So it's like
I think it's funny how teams, because I grew up like Lakers Celtics kind of thing. It was like
right.
That was the defining moment. You were either a Lakers fan or a Celtics fan. You couldn't be both.
Right.
And the kids this year, it was Magic and Larry, and it was you were right down the center. You either picked one or the other. But I think it's funny how those kind of moments kind of define you as a lover of the game, as a coach, and those kind of things. All right, so then what happened?
So then we got fortunate that what it was called USA Basketball, when it was first called, it was run by a guy named Bill Wall. They moved to Colorado Springs to have their headquarters because the Olympic Training Center was just built there. And it was called ABA USA at that time.
Okay.
So Bill Wall would let me see like all these yearbooks from FIBA and from ABA USA and all these basketball books, and he just let me hang in his office. So I got to watch a lot of sports festival teams play. They had 4 teams when we used to have the Olympic Sports Festival. So I get to watch a lot of different practices, and got to watch the 1980 Olympic team that didn't get to go to the Olympics practice in Colorado Springs and play. And they had like Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre and a great player, Michael Brooks, who, if he would have never torn up his knee, would have been a great NBA player as well.
Yeah, he would have been. I remember him. Yep. And
then Sam Bowie was on that team, Darnell Valentine. So it was quite the thing. And then I didn't really have it wasn't a great situation. The reason I pushed myself as a coach is because at that time there wasn't great teaching in elementary school or junior high.
Right.
So there was nothing, and so I said, I'm never going to let a kid go through that like I did. So I started buying probably books while I was in high school, and then my high school coach he was originally from Richmond, Indiana, and
I know where that is.
He had films and he played there. He played in the same Final Four as Milan that won it all there.
Right.
The Hoosiers.
Yep. That whole league. Yeah. Leagues. That's a crazy league. That Richmond league is a crazy league where I think the minimum seating capacity is like 10,000 for a high school gym in that league.
Yeah. So he had every, it was 8mm film or 16mm films of everything. And he'd won the state championship in Colorado in 71 and 73. And then we had an older black gentleman that come in and coach and teach the fast break and get us in condition. A guy named John McClendon.
Yeah.
So, but us as kids, we didn't really know who he was. He's a humble, great teacher, and you don't realize that he's like James Naismith's protege.
Right.
And my high school coach was extremely close to him, so his system of play was pretty much John McClendon's system of play.
Right.
Fast break and use the 4 corners, which John McClendon invented, not Dean Smith.
Right.
So so I got to read a bunch of stuff, and our high school back then started as a sophomores started it instead of that. So with that being said, the junior high basketball in Colorado Springs wasn't the best,
Right.
We had maybe one coaching junkie, and he later on helps me become a really good coach. So,
yeah, I think it's funny how the generations have changed too. You don't see where I'm sitting right now, but I basically have a full room, a bookshelf of books, because I think we grew up in a different era where I have a couple on. What do I have on my desk right now? I'm reading Coaching Your Sons because my son's a freshman right now, and I'm reading The Smart Take from the Strong, which is a Pete Carroll book, which is an awesome book. But it's amazing how I think maybe the generation that's coming up they're maybe more visual than they are sitting down and reading a good basketball book, and I think that's changed a little bit.
Yeah, and I got every medalist book that you could have, and the 7-up coaches yearbooks, the McGregor.
Oh, I have all those.
USA coaches. I got them from like the 60s on up.
I know, and I got VHS tapes too. I'm hoping that they keep making VCRs because I got so many VHS tapes.
It's crazy how many tapes I have. So what I did was got subscriptions because we'd read about stuff in the Streets and Slick. So
Right.
I ended up subscribing to Eastern Basketball Weekly, and then Basketball Times came along. But then I started reading about the camps. The two major camps was 5-star and BC camp,
Right.
run by Bill Cronauer, and then
Yep. And
5-star run by Howard.
I went to BC. I didn't go to 5-star. I don't know if it's a Midwest thing. I went to the one in Indiana.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Rensselaer, right?
Yep. It was in Rensselaer. And it was like, and for the people listening right now, so I graduated high school in 85. It was like, there wasn't the AAU system that there is now. If you wanted to play, you went to one of these camps. If you were legit and you could play, you wanted to go to one of these camps because that's where you got seen. You didn't get seen in Vegas in a Tuesday in July. It was one of these camps is where you'd make a ranking and then someone would follow up. And I'm just putting in perspective for people listening. The shift has obviously happened toward AAU, but keep going.
Right.
I'm very.
And then what's sad is the other things that kids got to grow up with at our time. Since I lived in a military town that's Colorado Springs. You got Fort Carson, the Air Force Academy. You had Peterson Air Force Base, and other things. We got to go play the GIs all the time,
right?
Which got eliminated after 9/11.
Yep.
For kids couldn't go out, and that's playing against the older guys that were Division I players and joined the military. And I saw Coach K play. as an
and they don't let that happen because it's
Fort Carson.
Is it security?
Yeah, security. You used to be able to just take the bus, and I lived in Fort Carson, but when I moved off of Fort Carson,
right,
you used to be able to play, take the bus, go on. They let you off, go to the gym and play.
Right.
Against the GIs, and the same thing at Peterson Air Force Base.
Right.
Okay, so we're not.
No worry. I figured you were in Colorado and you hit some mountains or something. You couldn't. The reception.
Right. No.
All right, go ahead. So let's start where you cut off there a little bit at the end. So you're talking about the GI guys.
Yeah. But going and playing against the military guys, and kids don't get that opportunity to go play against adults very often anymore.
Right.
Okay. There's no specific runs anymore or great runs. You know what I'm saying? So you used to go to play at colleges for runs. You used to go play at the military base for runs.
Well, what's funny is I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin. I could tell you every place you wanted to go if you wanted a game. You'd go to Penn Park. You go to Madison. I mean, there were like 4 or 5 spots that you would go, and all but one of them were outside. And you could go on a Tuesday at 4 and get a run if you wanted to. And I think that's hurt the game a little bit.
Because the older guys used to teach the younger guys how to play.
They did, and I had an older brother, which helped a lot. Yeah. And
then we used to go up and play at the Salvation Army Red Shield Center up in Denver, where Michael Ray Richardson came out of. Larry Farmer that played at UCLA came out of, and a bunch of pros that played there all the time. So Scott Wedman, Joe Barry Carroll, Tom Chambers, the Gondrzak brothers.
So what happened after? So explain what happened after your high school career then.
Okay, here's what happened. I came in with a very big class. Okay, my parents get a divorce. And I kind of become like a street kid, and then I just play pickup ball on the streets, and go from there. And then the assistant coach Tom Sandoval kind of helped save my life, so to speak. So he got to me where, hey, why don't you be the manager? Okay, because I would have never been eligible grade wise.
Right.
And so I got to do that. So I got to practice all the time with all the guys, whatever. And go from there. But I'd got my first taste of going to a state tournament in our senior year, and always wanted to go back and win one of those.
Yeah, they're pretty special. They're pretty special.
They're incredible. So I've been fortunate to win 3 state championships as as a varsity assistant, and that. So it was a big deal because it was at McNichols Arena, which is torn down now, where the Nuggets played at, and.
Well, I tell people that for
It helped.
listening too, that it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of momentous things in your life, but when you win a state title, I think it's even different than winning a national title at the collegiate level, because these are kids you grew up with. They're kids that you've known since you were in kindergarten. You were able to do something. I coach Wesley Matthews, who plays for the Mavericks, and he still talks about it because that was all his buddies. It's all his friends.
Hey, Coach, hope you're enjoying the podcast. A couple things that doesn't cost you a cent to do. You can subscribe and leave a written review. We really like that. You can go over to our YouTube channel. Just type in Teach Hoops on YouTube, and you'll find our YouTube channel. Subscribe, there, so you'll always get the updates. Next thing is, if you do any shopping on Amazon, go down below, click our Amazon link, www.teachhoops.com/Amazon. Anytime you're doing shopping on Amazon, we get a small little commission. Helps us with our hosting fees. Be surprised how expensive it is to run one of these. And if you really love this stuff, let me help you. Let me mentor you. Let me email. Let me get on one-on-one calls. Let me show you all the resources that will help me become one of the winningest coaches in the state of Wisconsin. That's why I'm doing this. I want to help coaches become better. So teachhoops.com can do that. All right, let's head off to the podcast.
6 years ago, I was disappointed in the state tournament here. I feel bad for the kids because it's not played at the Pepsi Center here.
Where's it? It isn't?
No, it's played. It's been played at the University of Colorado or and the University of Colorado needs a new arena, in my opinion, desperately.
Right.
And then it's played at the Denver Coliseum. That's older than dirt, basically. And it's not the same feel. It's not built for basketball. It's not the same thing. Here's they hold the state wrestling meet at the Pepsi Center. You don't hold basketball, which
Right. It's kind of like football. It's kind of like in Minnesota, hockey kind of rules in Minnesota, and then
right.
Basketball kind of the second fiddle. It's so sad.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. Let's ask some basketball questions. I got some questions for you here. If you could only do 3 things at practice, what would you do and why?
Oh, 3 things at practice. I would definitely, because I love shooting. So shooting would be the one thing that I would definitely do.
Okay.
And then peer pressure drills and transition defense.
Yeah, I think transition defense is way underrated.
I think it's so. If you don't get back, you're going to get beat. And I think if you do get back and make people play 5-on-5, which most teams I don't think are very exceptional at half-court offense, I don't think they are.
Right. Do you guys have a shot clock in your state?
No, I wish they did.
If you could go back as a younger coach, what would you tell yourself?
To be patient and to keep things simple. The greatest lesson I learned from my high school coach is to stay away from the refs, which I never got really on the refs. But still, even, just coach the game and the kids and, leave the refs alone.
Right. And I think that's hard. You see this thing that happened with LeVar Ball today. He walks off. And Summarize your coaching philosophy. You kind of did there a little bit. What would be your
I think my coaching philosophy would be team play, fundamentals, and conditioning. I think that the 12th man is just as important as the star player, and don't be afraid to coach the star player.
Right, and I think a lot of
these guys are scared to coach the star player.
Yeah, they definitely are in the summer, I think. So what goes into a practice plan for you? So let's say you're coming in, you're walking in the gym. What goes into because I've been doing a lot of digging on practice planning because I'm a teacher too. I'm not sure practice planning is something that's done really effectively at this point. It's like a lesson plan, but
okay. So in keeping everything simple, Steve, is belief is having like shooting be the pre-practice.
Okay.
And then jump into my practice is Oregon State, Ralph Miller. So it's going to be every day. It's going to be 2-lane setups, split the post drill, um, 3-lane rush, 3-man figure eight, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and
So
free
you do the same thing every day for 90 days, or do you vary it?
Yeah. I try to do that, and then that gives me the first 45 minutes. That's every day. Something every day, and then working. Just keep on working, and then that gives me an hour and 15 to do potpourri, basically.
Right. And yeah,
But
and I
I'm
love
making sure that
I love that
But
description of potpourri, because it's like, I always talked about Madeline Hunter. It's like, you have this outline when you walk in, and then you got to be willing to adjust. You got to be willing to monitor and adjust. Like,
right. So I guess it would be more or less like, since you're reading like Pete Carril, all right?
Yeah.
Pete Carril's first 30 minutes is fundamentals, like Ralph Mills was.
Right.
Okay. So it's basically the same thing, and then they're going into. I guess after that, I'd be more 5-on-5, Steve. After that 45 minutes,
Right.
I'd be more 5-on-5. But I'm making sure 5-on-5 that I'm covering. So we're going into breaking every type of press. Okay.
Right.
And at each level. So it's full court, 3/4 court, half court, and working on that daily. All right. Then it's working on daily, working against odd front zones and even front zones. Okay.
Yeah. So what I tell, because there's such a wide range of coaches that listen to this podcast, it's crazy. What I tell them is, it's almost like a line going down. When you're dealing with a 3rd to 5th grader, most of your practice should be fundamentals. And as they get older, the amount of fundamentals go down, because you're working on other things, because they are able to dribble with their left hand, or go, jump stop, or do those kind of things. So, if you go, what are they working on? So it's kind of a line. It's the math teacher in me, but when they're starting up there in 3rd and 4th grade or 5th grade, a lot of that practice is fundamentals. It isn't the 5-on-5, which is what I see when I go to,
and that's why I say that I did this for 23 years as a 5th through 8th grade coach.
Right.
Ralph Miller system, I did it there too as well.
Right.
Okay. And it developed more than 75 kids that went on and played, Division I or Division II basketball.
Because they had the basis. It's like, you can't read a novel before you know your letters. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I say. And it emphasized the pass was the main weapon. And Ralph Miller's system is the pass was the main weapon. The 80-81 Ralph Miller team at Oregon State was the best passing team I've ever seen in college. They were incredible.
Who's the best passer you've ever seen in person?
Magic, John.
Yeah, my dad and I get in an argument about this. I would agree. I mean, he says Oscar Robinson was unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard. Yeah, Magic. Well, Magic had the
Magic, and then 1A would be Larry Bird. I mean.
Yeah, and they had size to be able to see too. That helped.
Right.
They were able to see the floor, and that size helped. What would you tell a young coach that wanted to get into coaching? I always get these emails. It's like, oh, I want to become a coach, and depending on the level.
Well, what it's sad, Steve, is we're being a person that worked the camp era. I worked over 300-400 basketball camps in my lifetime. There isn't that training ground anymore.
There isn't.
Okay, I worked 5-star, a million sessions of 5-star.
Right.
Okay, I worked Morgan Wooten's camp at Mason-Dixon.
Right.
I worked Bob Hurley basketball school, Duke, Nebraska, Iowa State. Those kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Princeton's camp. There's nothing like that anymore.
Right, and that was where the networking happened too.
Right. Yeah, and then you're learning different styles of coaching and teachers. Like, at 5-star, you're learning under Rick Pitino, Hubie Brown, Dave Odoms, Jerry Wainwright, Will Rays, Calipari's,
right.
And so on. You're learning under the best teachers of the game. And you're learning different styles. You're learning from the Indiana high school coaches, the Illinois high school coaches, and you're learning from the Northeast coaches, from Baltimore, DC and Virginia and New Jersey, and New York City and the East Coast, So you're learning different styles. And from the South, when you worked at Radford, at Virginia 5-star, you're learning from all the Southern coaches,
Right. So tell us a little bit about 5-star, how you got hooked up with 5-star, and that intrigued.
Eddie Schilling, that's the new assistant coach at Indiana.
Right.
I would say he got me in there good, and he told Howard Garfinkel that I should be his right-hand man and worked the camp. So they just kind of, Garford lost his right-hand man, the king of 5-star, they used to call Frank Marino. Frank Marino had passed away, and then Ed suggested that to Garf that since I knew a lot of people and Garf knew a lot of people, that I should help him run the camp, during the summer. So
what a great and I met Howard. We played in Beach Ball Classic, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I got to meet him. I'd met him, in my 30s, but what a great man. I mean, so personable, took time to talk to my guys.
Okay, but he predicted all this, the game here.
Yeah.
25 years ago, he said this all happened. What we got now.
Really?
The disaster for the game. There's Nostradamus for all this stuff. He foresaw all this.
And how did he see that? He see the money?
He said they're going to teaching and the money.
Yeah.
We're going to go away from teaching and the money,
Yeah.
There's going to go everything to the money. He always called 5-star the last bastion of teaching. Well, of course, that's not true, but
right.
That's what he felt in his mind was the last bastion of teaching, at that time, you know what I'm saying? So he's more into discovering teaching talent than he was into discovering Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or Vince Carter or somebody,
Right. No, I know. I mean, he had such a knack for, being able to see it too. But, if you could talk to one coach for an hour in any sport or anything, who would it be and why?
Oh, it's easy. I get to talk to him anytime I want. Is Bob Earl. To me, he's the best.
I can't believe it's closing either.
No, it's just that's the thing. But it's crazy. The Catholic Church has got more money than God.
Right.
You can't keep a bill. So I thought that would be what that church's beliefs are: is helping others, helping the poor.
Right.
So
what's he going to do now?
It's all about money. I think he's just going to work with, give it a year and work with young kids in Jersey City. He has a passion. He don't care, how old you are. He's working with kids. He's still doing his camps, and it's a sad situation that it can't get financed. It's
right.
sad,
I know. I was watching the special too. Do you have any superstitions?
Yeah, I do. I do have some superstition. Take a nap before the game. Before a game.
That's a good idea. Coach K does that.
And I would guess a nap. I have the other thing is that I have different feels for the game long before the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
I guess I would be a preparation, making sure everything's covered type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You're over prepare like me. Yeah. I'm overthink. Yeah. So that when game day's easy. I sleep like a baby the night before a game. Because I can't do anything. Yeah. It's like people are going, "Are you sleeping? You're playing." And I go, "It doesn't matter. I can't practice at 11 o'clock at night with my guys when we play the next day. I'm done. I gotta just show up at this point."
And so the other thing is that I got from my high school coach is that the first half is just for fun.
What do you mean by that?
First half is just for fun because most of the first half really doesn't matter. Either you're up big, close, or whatever. It just doesn't matter. The first half's just for fun, and then you can play and come back from most situations, or you can
Right.
The first half is just for fun. You play the first half just for fun.
Fun. I like that. I've never heard that. That's true though. It's like that's not where games are decided.
No.
Yeah, they're really not. If you could change one thing about basketball, what would you change?
This is what I would do is I would take out the 3-point line. And
why?
Why? I think that we'll get other things back into the game that we we're missing. More of a working for the best shot possible. I think that's why the really good offensive coaches when we were growing up, I think they struggled the most with converting to that would be like Bobby Knight and Denny Crum.
Right.
They were always guys that would grind it out in two different styles: UCLA high post offense and motion. But they worked it to get the best shot possible.
And the thing is, I didn't even let my son shoot a three until he was in like 7th grade because he wasn't strong enough. It's like these little third graders are trying to throw a ball.
And there's a big thing. Howard Garfinkel hated the 3-2.
Yeah, I'm not. I
okay,
also.
So then, so that in college, anyways, the best shooting percentages were the years it was introduced in the 80s.
Right.
Still stand as the record. So Indiana, for the team record has the team 3-point shooting thing for that year. All for the courses on the team, and then others that shot more attempts, that had the record for more attempts, the same era, the same 80s. Okay, so it hasn't gotten better; it's gotten worse.
Right. Well, I also think with these, if you go to an NBA game or a Division I college game, I don't think the court is big enough anymore for these bodies either.
Right. No, for the athletes, you gotta know.
It's like we almost got to make the court bigger and move the hoop up or something for these big guys because it's crazy. It's not, it's not At some point, I think.
Yeah, there was talk at one point of moving it to 11 or 12 feet of the basket.
Right. It would change the game again. It sure would change things.
Yeah.
Again. All right, so I'm going to do
I'd like to see big man play come back.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I had a great big man that ended up going to Dartmouth, about 6'7", and it's a struggle. Everything's moving away from that, and everyone, it's moving 5 out, and the post up game, and the big guys don't get the benefits they used to get inside, and I think a lot of that's changed. All right, so let me do my rapid fire. This is going to be me. Real quick question. First thing comes to mind, give me an answer. What is your favorite basketball brand?
My favorite basketball is Spalding.
Spalding. Okay. One word to describe your ideal. One sporting event you could go to in the world. Yeah, I love that. Yes, I've been to the Final Four. Masters would be definitely high for me too. Favorite pregame meal.
That's good. It can be a variety.
Steak seems to be the most common in that one. One thing you do to relax.
Listen to me.
Okay. Best.
Michael Jordan.
Best player of all time.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Ooh. You're out. Michael's got about 90% answers on these. One thing that helped you become a better coach.
Talking to people.
Yeah. And a side note before we go on, kids don't talk when they play the game of basketball anymore. It's crazy. That's one of my pet peeves. But best game you have seen in person.
In person. God, there's so many. That's I can't answer that. I mean, okay. I probably would say the state tournament, the first time we won our state tournament.
Yeah, that
it was in overtime, and we
ended up winning one in triple overtime at state finals in triple overtime. Right. It's like sometimes it's the one that you're in. One word to describe your coaching style.
Intense.
Best bench player of all time.
Michael Cooper.
Best basketball coach of all time.
Bob Hurley.
One book you would recommend.
One book I would recommend. Basketball Methods by Pete Mill.
One thing you would tell a young coach.
Know your game.
Mine is be yourself too.
Right.
You can go to all these clinics and all these coaches are great, but you can't be. You're not going to be the next Bob Hurley.
You take one thing or something from people.
Right. It's kind of like going to a smorgasbord. Well, thanks for being on. I really appreciate this. This was a lot of fun.
No problem. Thanks a lot for having me on, Steve.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, Coach. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, go join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. You want to become a better basketball coach. Let me help you. Where else can you find a mentor for, a dinner at McDonald's, basically? Let me help you. Not only resources and communities and handouts and one-on-one calls and office hours. It's got a little bit of everything that will help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over, subscribe and like, leave a review. And if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, click down below. We would appreciate it. All right. Have a great
Booking.com is the easiest way. From a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like touchdown. Because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. And it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.